My name is Michael Patterson. I'm a single father of a 16-year-old girl. I started smoking when I was 9 years old. I've smoked most of my life. There have been people that were concerned about it who tried to talk to me while I was growing up. My response to them was, "Oh, shut up. It's none of your business. I'm not hurting anybody but myself." Later on, I used to argue, well, who wants to be an old man in a coffin? I want to look good when it's my time to go. That might have sounded like it made some sense back then. But once I became a dad, I suddenly felt like I wanted to live forever. I want to watch this girl grow up. I want to see her get married. I want to meet my own grandchildren. There's so many things that I want to do. Well, about 9 weeks ago, I woke up. I was having a very hard time breathing. I tried my huffers and the nebulizer that I have at home, and it wasn't doing any good. It was becoming extremely hard to breathe. Now I'm terrified because I feel like I'm going to die. I told my daughter to call 911. It seemed like it took the ambulance forever to get there. Time almost was standing still. I didn't think that they were going to make it in time because I'm struggling for every breath, and I don't feel like I'm getting enough. Every cell in my mind is screaming that I'm suffocating to death. I finally hear the ambulance people coming up the stairs, and I start to feel a little bit of relief because I feel like for the first time they're going to be able to help me. They're going to be able to do something. I just might make it. They worked on me for some time without any success. They got me loaded up and started getting me in the ambulance, and they headed towards the hospital. I don't remember hearing the siren on the ambulance. I didn't feel like we were moving that fast. I was troubled by that. I was wondering, why aren't they just going as fast as they can, because I really need to get there. I don't think I'm going to make it. I'm not going to live long enough to make it to the emergency room. And it seemed like it took forever, but finally we were at the emergency room, and I again felt that little bit of relief that said, good, they have everything here. They're going to be able to help me. I just might make it. Well, after when I got me into the emergency room, they hooked me up on an IV, and they started injecting little barrels of prednisone steroids into my IV. They gave me a real strong nebulizer with albuterol in it, and it wasn't doing any good. After 3.5 hours of them struggling with me in the emergency room, I was still struggling for every breath, and every cell in my body is screaming that I'm suffocating to death slowly. I just know that I'm going to die at any moment. When you're staring death in the face like that, that's a terrifying thing. That's a mind-numbing, gripping fear that, it's hard to describe or even explain what that feels like. I leaned forward on that gurney that I was sitting on at an angle and started to slump, and the doctor that was working on me in emergency looked at me and said, "You're getting tired, aren't you?" I said yes. I was out of energy. I no longer had the strength to fight for my own breath. They were talking about a machine that they could try as a last-ditch attempt in case they failed there, and it sounded unpleasant. It sounded like they were going to shove tubes down my throat, and I didn't like the idea of that, and I was going to fight for my own life with everything that I had. But now I'm out of everything that I have. I have no choice. It's either that or die. So I told them, let's do it. They strapped a mask to my face, looked like a jet fighter mask. It's like sticking your head out a car window at high speed and opening your mouth. Felt that air just rush into my lungs. And I laid there, and let this machine breathe for me while I rested up. Finally got off the machine. Didn't know it at the time, but my carbon dioxide level in my blood is now at 78%. I should be losing consciousness, and once you lose consciousness from carbon dioxide, it tells your brain you have enough oxygen, and you basically stop breathing and you die. The only thing that's keeping me from losing consciousness is the fact that I have so much steroids in me, it isn't funny, so I just couldn't go to sleep. It's the only thing keeping me alive. Well, they took me up to the intensive care unit. My family came to see me. They were confused because I was sitting there propped up at a 40-degree angle and my eyes are wide open. I'm talking a mile a minute. I seem to have more energy than all of them put together. And the doctor saw their confusion and said, "Don't let this guy fool you. He's very, very sick. He's not out of the woods yet." He said an 80-year-old man has better lungs than this man does. He said this man is in the end stages of COPD now. People at the stage that he's at, only 50% are going to make it 5 years. He said even the common cold can kill him at this point. I didn't sleep for 10 days while they had me on the steroids. I began to complain about it, and they said, "Well, we're just trying to keep you breathing. We'll worry about the other things later." Anytime my daughter hears me cough or sneeze or wheeze even a little bit, she says, "Are you all right, Daddy?" She has such fear in her voice, and it hurts knowing that, I'm terrorizing this little girl this way, that, she's already lost her mom 2 years ago, and now, she has to lose her dad too. I don't know if I'm going to live long enough to watch my daughter go to prom. I don't know if I'm going to live long enough to walk her down the aisle when she's going to be married and give her to her husband. And I certainly probably will never live long enough to feel a little child walk up and put his arm around me and say, "I love you, Grandpa." A lot of people, when they're told they're going to die, they get real bitter about it, and maybe they retreat, and maybe they stay drunk so they don't have to face it. When I was told that I'm at the end of my life and I'm going to die, all I could think was, this is so horrible. This is such a horrible way to go. All I could think was, oh my God, I have to stop as many as I can from coming down here. I don't want anybody to suffer this terrifying, horrible thing. So I decided that I would go speak in the schools if they would let me, and they have. And I joined a site called becomeanx.org to help as many people there as I could. All I know is that I'm going to stand on this road. I'm going to tell all of those that are headed this way, don't come here. Don't end up where I am, because it is a terrible and horrible place to be. This decision of whether or not you want to stop smoking, it's not just a good idea. It's a decision between life and death. It's a decision between living a long and healthy life versus living a short life and dying a horrible, slow, terrible death. So what I'm asking you now is to choose life, to get away from this horrible addiction that tobacco is. It's more addicting than heroin. You may be in for the fight of your life, but you are fighting for your life. And even if you fail, get up and keep trying. You're not a failure if you keep trying. You're only a failure if you give up. And this is about your life. When I thought I was only hurting myself, I was so wrong. I'm hurting everybody that knows me and cares about me. And there are many. So I appeal to you again. Don't give up. Get away from this horrible addiction. Choose life and not death.